So the way and how this system works is very simple. First of all, you gotta pick your iPhone, and secondly, you take the snap-on filter. You can see on the back here, there is a little ring, and that basically says that there are magnets in it and that it works with MagSafe. So basically you just attach it magnetically. And next up, all you have to do, just pick the filter of your choice and just slide it in. And now you're good to go. To be honest, I have to say, I think that this truly is the first innovation, the first disruptive innovation in smartphone filmmaking in years. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Julian. I'm the creator of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, and today I have a very exciting video. Like I've said before, this is, in my opinion, the first true disruptive innovation in smartphone filmmaking accessories in years, and this is a true game changer for everyone that wants to take smartphone filmmaking more serious and bring it to the next level. So now you might be asking yourself, like, why is this disruptive and what's the difference to all the other filters out there? Because there have been ND filters, for years for smartphones, but the way on how this system works, I will just show you very quickly. By the way, this does work also on GIMBAL, so just so that you know, this does work just fine. So the problem that I often had with other filters that have this clamp-on system is that, first of all, some parts of the screen are blocked and you can just not access them. For example, when you're shooting vertically with an iPhone and you were having a clamp-on ND filter, most of the time you could not change the frame rate because that was just exactly below, the clamp, and you could just not access this. That's the first problem. To be honest, that's not too bad in my opinion. But the way bigger problem that all of these snap-on filters have is that you can put them above the lens and you can, do it as good as somehow possible. But whenever you're shooting outside on a bright sunny day, you most of the time still have the problem that sun is just shining through a little bit, and then you have these very weird looking lens flares, and they just do not look professional at all. And basically, you can not really avoid that. With this system, first of all, like I said, it's just super easy to use. You're just using the magnets that the new iPhones have, and then you just slide this system in, and as you can hear, it's just, this is metal basically, so it's very high quality, and it completely covers the lenses, and there is absolutely no way that, sun is coming from one side and that you have these weird looking lens flares. The origin story of this filter system is also very interesting. The guys that were making these filters were approached by Apple themselves, and they were asked to shoot a promotional video or a launch video for the iPhone 13 Pro. And of course, they wanted to shoot it professionally and with the best quality possible. And if you want to shoot professional looking video with basically any camera, having the correct shutter speed is one of the things that is super important. And the shutter speed basically should beat twice of your frame rate. And when you are shooting outside on a bright sunny day, having a shutter speed of 1/50 in case you're shooting at 25 frames per second is just very difficult, or basically impossible, without using an ND filter. And since there were no real proper solutions out there, they thought, okay, they will just, take this problem more serious and figure out a solution, and this is what came out. So I think it is really cool that actual professional filmmakers made this product, and when you're using it, when you're shooting with it, you can definitely feel that this is a very well thought through product and that everything is working and fitting just absolutely perfectly fine. So now that we have talked about how the system works, like just using the magnets and basically everything takes care of itself, and also we've talked about the origin story, now we need to talk about what kind of filters they have and what these filters actually do and how they can help you to shoot some better looking videos with your smartphone, because in the end, that's what we are all about. So first of all, they have 4 different strengths of ND filters. And an ND filter basically stands for neutral density, and that is kind of like sunglasses for your camera. So when you're shooting outside on a bright sunny day, you basically need an ND filter for your lenses, and then this basically makes it possible for you to have the proper shutter speed of twice of your frame rate. So like I've said before, they're offering 4 different strengths, and depending on how bright it is outside, or in case you want to shoot some low shutter photography, you can just do that and basically just slide it in whatever you need and you are pretty much good to go. So these are the ND filters, but that's not all. Besides the ND filter, they also have a cloud diffusion filter, and a cloud diffusion filter basically just softens the highlights and overall just takes away the digital feel of your video. I'm using this right now on my professional camera, and I also like to use these filters for my smartphone because it just has a more cinematic feeling to the images. The highlights are not that blown out, it just softens it out a little bit, and overall it takes out the contrast a little bit. And for me personally, I just really like this look, and whenever I'm shooting a little more professionally, I always or most of the time like to use these kind of filters. Besides the ND filters and the cloud diffusion filters, they also have some more stylized filters where you have some horizontal or vertical flares or lines, basically, that when you're shooting against a light source, you have some cool effects. Basically, you have them in blue and in orange, and just depending on what kind of look you would like to have, you can, try out different things. With the blue ones, you can create these very cool J.J. Abrams kind of, lens flares that you would only get with proper anamorphic lenses. And with the orange ones, for example, if you were shooting during golden hour, you could create some very nice and subtle lens flares that just look really, really nice. These filters also take away a little bit of the blooming effect in case you're shooting with your iPhone and you're shooting against a light source. Most of the time it will be the sun. You just have these very small tiny bubbles in your image, and that basically wobbles around a little bit, and that's basically just when the light is bouncing around inside of the lens. And when you're using these filters, it just blocks these off a little bit. It reduces that, and that overall also just makes your images just look a little more professional. Generally speaking, the build quality is really, really nice. It feels very solid. I think the plate itself is not built out of aluminum or some kind of metal, but it still has a nice touch to it, and it's not too heavy, which I think is also fine. Generally speaking, when it comes to smartphone filmmaking, I think it's still important to keep the weight as low as somehow possible, but still, of course, get the best quality. The magnets and everything fit just absolutely perfectly fine. Also the cutouts and everything, this is just very, very precisely measured and precisely produced, of course. And I know that I will be getting this question, so I will answer it right away. Does it work with a gimbal? And yes, it does work with gimbals, but not with your basic gimbals. So for example, if you have a DJI OM4 or OM5, or maybe even the Scion Smooth Q4, this won't work because the weight of this is just too heavy. And also with the design that on how this is made, usually you would mount your smartphone pretty much here in the middle. And since, now your phone basically is like 30% thicker than it was before, these smartphone clamps will not be able to handle that really well. But I have tried it out with the Crane M3 from Scion, and I'll just show you very quickly. You're just mounting that on the very right. So as you can see, this is working just fine, but like I've said before, you will need a stronger gimbal. So in case you plan on getting this, or in case you're planning on backing this up on Kickstarter, I would definitely recommend that you use maybe the Scion Crane M3 or the Crane M2S. These two have a payload of up to 1 kilogram, and with these gimbals, you will be able to use this just fine. Like I've said, I've tried that and it worked no problem. So my first impressions of this entire filter system is very, very positive. I think that this truly is disruptive and a true innovation. And I think that this has a very, very huge potential for us smartphone filmmakers. I think the variety of the different filters that they currently have is absolutely plenty, and I'm sure that they will even add more filters in the past. So in case you're getting this system, I'm absolutely sure that you will be future-proof for years. Something that I completely forgot to mention in the video, the company has also confirmed me that they are working on a new version for the iPhone 14s. So in case you're getting the iPhone 14, once that is out, that filter system will also get an update so that you can also use it for the new iPhone. I only had this entire system for 3 days now, so I have took it outside. I have made some videos. Also, my last video about the Filmic Pro price increase was shot using this system right here. So it worked absolutely fine. It worked, just no problem at all. Also, I think the quality of the ND filters is very nice, because with some other ND filters, most of the time you have the problem that they have some sort of color shifting. With these, I very barely noticed that, but just with a little tweak in the post-production, you can get rid of that. So overall, the quality is just absolutely perfect in my opinion. I will definitely keep on testing this system. I also want to shoot maybe a proper video. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know what you would like to see. I will definitely make a future video on like a long-term review after a month or two. So definitely write me your comments down below on what you would like to see, and then I will definitely make that happen for you. Generally speaking, in case you would like to learn more about filming with your smartphone, we have created a totally free webinar for you where I share the top 5 secrets to shooting professional looking video with your smartphone. It will be the first link down below. Just check it out. It's totally free. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys